Honorable President of the Chamber of Deputies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very great honor for me to be invited here to speak at the Camera dei Deputati, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to express some of my ideas. This invitation is especially meaningful to me because I've been coming to Italy for substantial visits for almost 30 years, so I feel very close to the Italian people. Well, my subject is innovation, as you know. Why increase it and how to do that? And innovation is always the extensive or significant adoption of some new practice in the society or in some community. It is never the invention of something that fails to be adopted. That is exactly how Joseph Schumpeter used the term. Another point, the same Joseph Schumpeter nearly destroyed the subject at birth by supposing that every innovation must originate out of some discovery by a scientist or navigator, by people outside the business sector. And all innovative projects are successful. That's because financiers have the uncanny ability to identify the projects that will succeed, and they don't back the projects that they know will fail. In fact, scholars have found that the great bulk of economic change is the result of innovations, large and small, springing from inside the business economy. Medical practice is a stunning example. And as people in business or the professions know, most new ideas are never developed, and most newly developed products fail to achieve appreciable innovation in their industry. Innovation is apt to be important even from the perspective of an extremely conventional theory of what the economy's structure is and how it works. Production of capital goods is the great employer, as the Austrian and Swedish capital theorists like to suppose. In contrast, consumer good production, generally speaking, makes heavy use of capital and relatively little use of labor. Looking at the waves of innovation, such as the wave in the second half of the 1990s, we see that they achieve big advances in the way capital is used in producing consumer products. This drives down the prices of consumer goods. In other words, it raises the real prices obtainable by capital goods producers. So they step up their activity producing capital goods. Also, wages and labor share are pulled up in the process. Clearly, in my country, Washington economists are yearning for a return of such booming economic activity. For me, all of this analysis is correct as far as it goes. I'll just make one qualification. It has to be added that the economy is complicated. A step up of innovations could take an unusual and much less desirable direction. It could cheapen the production of some capital goods, which is what Intel did in the 1990s. At first, that might increase jobs making chips, but endless advances ahead might ultimately lower the price of chips so much as to contract jobs in the activity of producing them. Innovation is vastly more important from a radically different perspective on what the economy is about. A good economy, even the not-so-good economy of the United States these days, is all about the creation and application of new ideas. Business persons Taking the advice of David Hume, they are imagining all the time new concepts and novel departures. Entrepreneurs, as Friedrich Hayek suggested, are attempting the development of a new product, embodying a new idea, on the hope that some consumers or managers will adopt it. Technicians, in the spirit of Francis Bacon, are experimenting with ways of producing the new product. Nelson Phelps managers are assessing the possible value of adopting novel products coming onto the market. Consumers, as Amar Bideh describes, are willing to risk taking home the latest thing. This economy is shot through with the exercise and the expression of the participants' creativity, their curiosity, their venturesomeness, their taste, and their personality. It is obvious that in nations where the economic institutions to enable and encourage innovation are not present, there cannot be a good economy. I can imagine you might say, fine, but with so many good causes to support, why should the Italian government put enough value on your good economy to want to give support to innovation? My answer is that without this good economy, the participants cannot have the prospect of a good life. And for a good life, people need to be stimulated by new developments, engaged by new problems, enlisted to meet new challenges, to find personal growth in the process, and to have a chance to make a difference to achieve something. By the way, it seems to me that we have been witnessing outcries of precisely this need in some of the Arab states in recent weeks. They want to have jobs and they want to have careers. As I have been arguing for several years now, a high-income country is not doing justice to the potentialities of its population for self-actualization, for self-discovery, and inclusion if it does not examine its institutions, attitudes, and beliefs for ways to strengthen its economic dynamism. I can also imagine it being asked whether there is really any link between the inherent innovativeness of the economy, its economic dynamism, as I call it, and human satisfaction and the sense of fulfillment. Well, I've spent a lot of time attempting to understand inter-country differences in job engagement and job satisfaction among the high-income countries. To be very brief, according to data from the 1990s, among the G7 nations, Canada ranked highest, and next came the US and the UK, with Japan in fourth rank. That's with respect to both job satisfaction and job engagement. France was at the bottom, Germany was next to the bottom, and Italy was in the middle. Data from the year 2000, which unfortunately do not include anything about job engagement, show that job satisfaction was highest in the UK, next the US, then Germany and France, with Italy having sunk to the bottom. These results are consistent with my thesis that where we see among high-income countries boredom and a deficiency of engagement and satisfaction in the workplace, the explanation tends to be a deficiency of innovation. On this thesis, could be wrong, but I believe it's right, Italy is deficient in job engagement and job satisfaction because it is deficient in economic dynamism.